I just want to say that I feel I understand more at this moment in time than I did at the beginning. Because I know I've heard from a lot of different people about this over the last couple of weeks. And appreciate President Carson scheduling today's briefing, because it's provided an opportunity for all of us to hear the information from all of the respective parties. And I still support the fact that we need to do our own independent analysis, financial, legal, structural due diligence on this matter. But I came in very skeptical. I'm at a place where I'm more open-minded. It's been pointed out by some of my colleagues already. I'm more open-minded. I'm even at a place of saying I could support a non-binding vote, but I could only support that if we get to a place we have negotiated either more affordable housing, or we've negotiated a tax sharing agreement, or we've negotiated we're putting less of our increment in. But we need to, because the city needs us to be a part of this plan, and we know it's going to be beneficial for the region, as everyone's pointed out, we want to see this happen. We want to see the A stay. But because the city's coming to us asking us to join in, we need to try to get a little bit more out of this to benefit the county for our revenue stream, so we can continue to provide resources to address all those issues that Supervisor Carson pointed to at the beginning of today's meeting. And even though we're going to get more money as a result of more sales tax for child care and for homelessness and for transportation and for healthcare, because they're all tied to sales tax, yeah, we're going to get more, but that's de minimis. And we knew we wouldn't get this if the project doesn't go forward. But you can't just ask us to join and say, just take what you're going to get because this is going to happen with your participation. No, we want a little bit more so that we can have more coming into our coffers to do a little bit more as a result of this 10 billion, 12 billion, whatever the amount of potential development that will happen at that site. And then I think if the EIR can adequately get certified and answer the questions that I raised earlier, I'd be a little bit more comfortable with that as well, because I'm always looking at the unintended consequences, and I would hate, and I've made some challenging votes over the years, some of which, not many, but a few that I've kind of regretted. I don't want this to come back and bite me and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't have made this vote because it's affected the ability of the port to maintain its viability. But looking at and hearing what I've heard today, I think I might be good. But once again, we're just starting this journey. And as Supervisor Chan pointed out, I think President Carson, and I think I've said it too, we have a lot of resentment associated with the fact that you've brought us into this and you're distracting from some of our core responsibilities at this point in time, as opposed to having brought this to our attention earlier.
So it seems like there's a majority of the board that seems to be ready to move forward with this proposal. I have a couple of questions. Since you're on the record like I'm there, do you think we should spend any time or energy in having an independent financial advisor that the county selects in order to look at this deal? Or are we just ready to, in next week, put it on the agenda? I mean, because we don't need to waste anybody else's time and not we don't need to play politics around this. If you made up your mind, we should move forward.
Mr. President, if you're asking me?
I'm asking the board. I mean, because
okay.
What I'm hearing is, I'm okay, let's keep going, let's make a deal, let's move forward. After 4 hours of listening to testimony, I don't want to, we haven't approached our budget. We haven't approached the rest of us dealing, because we've been primarily the ones responsible for all of the COVID issues in this county. There's so many issues that we don't need to continue to burden our staff if in fact the mind's made up. We just don't need to play any games.
I agree, Mr. President, and I wasn't inferring that I wanted to play baseball with anybody. I want to make it really clear. What I've heard from my colleagues is clearly we need more time. This is too hurried. I agree with Supervisor Chan's comments. Later in the fall, after the city council has made a decision, then we can relook at this, which gives us plenty of time to do an analysis. And I agree with you. We need our staff to look in depth at the numbers. There's not information here enough to make a decision. I would not be in favor of bringing this back next week for up or down.
So you were pretty concrete about some direction. I want to get a sense as to whether or not the rest of the board wants to go in that direction, which was probably after the city council has taken their vote, after we've gotten our information back from financial advisor, we would take up this issue. Yes.
Yes, President Carson, yeah, I think we should do the analysis. I would find out from the county administrator if that could be done like in 30 days. Then we schedule this for 30 days from now or the first part of August to take up and see where we are. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I think I keep saying a tax sharing agreement. Maybe tax sharing isn't sufficient enough. Maybe we should be looking at a revenue sharing agreement.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Okay.